Shadow Step is probably one of the fastest and most underrated builds in Diablo 4, and it's actually really fun to play. The build is able to easily go through all content with good damage, insane speed, and it's super hard to die as you are constantly shadow stepping. With the right setup, you can even aim for pit over 100. Shadow Step lets you pretty much teleport through the map. It requires a lot of cooldown reduction and might be difficult to build at the start of the season, but it's pretty easy to build soon after. One of the key items is Shaco with cooldown reduction masterworking. If you happen to find one with greater affix on cooldown reduction, that's even better, as it will help you with some additional damage possibilities. In total, you need 83 cooldown reduction on your gear, and it is actually easy to achieve with temperings. For the armor, as most of the builds, we are using Shroud of False Death for damage. As for the gloves, depending on your preferences, you can either go for Fists of Fate with high damage, or gloves with an aspect. I'm currently using Aspect of Elements. You want to get as close as possible to 100% attack speed on the cap 1, so we want greater affixes for that in most of the gear. If you need more information, I will link an explanation article from Maxroll on attack speed, but in short, you want to have a lot of attack speed. This is what makes this build feel so great. In my opinion, many people underestimate Shadow Step because they don't have enough attack speed or try to build around damage on next attack after entering stealth affix. This is a bad idea as it slows down the gameplay and actually results in lower damage in the end. In pants you probably want some armor and resistances depending on the rest of the gear and paragon boards. I've also decided to temper Second Wind and activate it with Cax rune, and this gives a lot of barrier. The rune also helps with resetting cooldowns and activating preparation. In pants and boots you want Frostbitten and Concussive Strike aspects. Boots can also roll Shadow Step, so greater affix and masterworking will give you a lot of damage. In pants, gloves and boots, chance to daze, freeze and stun should be the choice to activate other bonuses if you are not using Fists of Fate. I have a shitty amulet currently, but what you want is simply damage, so Frigid Finesse passive would be ideal, but you can go for example with Malice or Exploit. One of the most important temperings on your gear will be close damage, as we are using Close Combat key passive. Other slots get a bit tricky because there are different options. I've decided to get some points for Poison Imbuement, but with very good gear and a lot of cooldown reduction you can actually even consider Cold Imbuement and activate it for key moments like a staggered boss. For aspects, I would suggest having Conceited on two-hand weapon if you're using Cax rune and Retribution in Amulet. The reason is that if you go the other way around, you're losing a lot of damage on bosses when they are not staggered. Cold Clip, Clandestine and Inner Karma aspects additionally contribute to the damage. On weapons, make sure you use Shadow Step Cleave Tempering as well. One weapon slot should be taken by Asheras, which gives a lot of attack speed and damage when you masterwork Weapon Mastery. We use Rain of Arrows to activate No Witness and Tricks of the Trade, Smoke Grenade and Caltrops for other damage bonuses, and Dark Shroud to stay alive even more. Skill tree is very simple as we max out Shadow Step and many bonuses, mostly from passive nodes. Key passive is Closed Quarters Combat. I have tried Momentum version of the build and it works pretty well, but in reality you are not using many of the bonuses from the passive. We are also missing out on 30 attack speed. Legendary nodes are Cheap Shot, Dense Macabre, Tricks of the Trade and No Witness. For glyphs, Devious helps with additional bonus to ultimate damage and No Witness board, Turf increases damage we get from key passive, and we also have Control, Versatility and Fluidity. But the last one can be switched for a different one if you prefer. I'm easily able to complete pit above 80, but after leveling up glyphs, getting better gear, temperings and aspects, it will actually be able to clear close or above level 100 of the pit. Which I will also probably show soon, so if you're interested in that or perhaps other content, I'd appreciate a follow as I have other builds ready as well. I will also show in the next video some variations on how you can use Unlimited Shadow Step to activate other unpopular builds. If this video gets to anyone who has any questions regarding the build, feel free to comment and I will try to help. Thanks to anyone who watched and go grind!